Here we are. Welcome, everyone. I am Daniele De Cicco. I am responsible for the section of the 38th Torino Film Festival dedicated to short movies from all over the world. And now we are presenting the program dedicated to schools of cinema that will be available on our platform, My Movies, from 2 p.m. Saturday, the 21st of November, for 48 hours. This meeting with the directors of the 6 movies selected wants to give you just a bit more information about the movies and about who created them. So I welcome Alireza Gazemi, the director of Extra Sauce, Juan Felipe Balcázar, the director of Downbound Wayfarer, Tang Li, the director of Eyes of the Sea, Anat Schwartz, the director of 39, Natalia Luque, the director of La Virgen, la Vieja, el Viaje, and Alexandra Fuscas, the director of Firu Rosu, the Red String. Thank you all for being here with us. Let's start talking about our movies. Let's start with Alireza and his movie Extra Sauce. Alireza, you attended for 1 year the Film Academy Baden-Württemberg of Ludwigsburg.
Yes.
Tell us something about this experience.
Yeah, that was wonderful. I remember 2 years ago, I've been in Film Academy Ludwigsburg, and it was an exchange program between our schools. I studied art. I studied cinema in Art University of Tehran, and there was an exchange program for 1 year, and me and one of my friends went there as in students, and they asked us to make 2 short films, and Extra Sauce is one of them, the small one. And it was amazing because I had the chance to cooperate with very talented students from Baden-Württemberg Film Academy.
Excellent. And tell us something about the movie. What's about?
So it's about death in a comedy way. I think it's kind of black comedy, and I think I'm really I really like the concept of this. So in this film, I try to make fun with this concept, and it's about Wolf Des, who is really hard doing shifts of work, doing his job for thousands of years, and mediocre actors who just passed away. Actually, he just committed suicide, and they just start talking.
There is an angel, and then the first reference that comes to mind is, of course, at least to me, It's a Wonderful Life by Frank Capra. And what other films inspired you?
There are many. First of all, I would say The Coffee and Cigarette by Jim Jarmusch, because the style of the film. And then I would say it's a book. I think it's a German writer. I cannot remember the name. It's such a shame. But yeah, it's that book. Einsichten eines Clowns. I cannot remember the English name. And the other one is The Wings of Desire by Wim Wenders. Also, the famous film The Seventh Seal by Bergman. And yeah, those are all the references for this film.
Okay. I found very effective the interpretation, both of Antonio Lallo and Ben Janssen. And how did you choose them? How did you work with them?
They are both theater actors, and Antonio Lola is an Italian guy who
Yes.
worked in Germany. And I remember we talked a lot about Italy whenever, I just try to make a confident situation with my actors. And we read the script many times and start to talk about the situation. And then we did a lot of rehearsals. And, beat by beat, we start to create the atmosphere of the film together.
Okay. I would like to read you a statement. It says, it reflects my interests in black humor and how it deals at its core with a very serious subject matter. In this case, the issues of suicide. It's not yours, okay? It's Juan Felipe's about his movie, but I thought it would apply perfectly also to the movie.
Yeah.
That's why I put them together in the same program, because I feel they have a similar authorial approach to the same matter, the suicide. And they deal with different genres. I think yours, Alireza, is a beautiful noir, and Juan Felipe's is a beautiful Western. So I wanted to ask first Alireza and then Juan Felipe, why did you choose this genre in particular?
So for me, I would say it was the first time that I wanted to do whatever they ask us not to do. Sometimes they always ask you not to shoot in 4:3 aspect ratio, not shoot on black and white, not make fun with God or angels or those things. And it was the first time I was just came out of Iran. It was in Germany, and I wanted to do anything I wanted, and so I create this one. So I think the main reason that black comedy is the is a platform that you can be very sarcastic and make fun with everything you want. Yes, it's the main reason, I think.
Okay. And what about the Western, Juan Felipe?
I'm trying to remember the exact process, but I think I love Westerns, and I guess I never saw a suicidal cowboy before, so I thought it would be intriguing to try to find that avenue because, but in Westerns, you always see a cowboy who's very tough and strong and confident and is always in control of his element. So I wanted to create a situation in which that character wouldn't do that. So I was trying to do something else, especially with the genre of black comedy.
Okay.
So,
And where is the movie been shot?
And where did I shoot it?
Yeah.
I shot it in the north of Spain. It's a desert called Bardenas Reales. So it's in the north of Spain near France. But it looked like America, like a Death Valley or something like that. So hopefully it will come.
Like
Scuole
did some years ago, as you know,
yes.
Spain.
Yes.
I suspected that.
Yes.
And what about your school, the London Film School? How did you arrive there, and how was it?
I was looking at different options, but that was very appealing to me. Like a lot of people who I admire graduated from there. So I'm Michael Mann and Mike Lee especially. Those are people whose films are very influential for me. So I looked like, oh, this seems interesting. And then the city itself, I think, has a lot of culture. So once you get there, you get immersed in that world of culture where you explore different things and helps you be more creative, I guess. So that was a wonderful experience from all sides.
Okay. And what did you appreciate more? about the matters that you studied?
I enjoyed the time that you get to work on your own things. Like it's a conservatory, so you have to basically learn by doing it. So a lot of things is, at least the way I approach it, is through experimentation and trying to discover what kinds of films you like to make. So that was very helpful, just to start from basically zero, just like, oh, okay, this is a camera, and building your way up, trying to create some kind of artistic avenue for your thoughts. So I really think the school really helped me to find my voice, I guess. And so I have a stronger sense of what I want to accomplish next.
Okay. And what about your references?
My references. So I guess once you see the film, will be very clear that Sergio Leone was a big influence, especially in the end. Like some of the shots and stuff like that will be apparent if you see like the good, the bad, and the ugly, and Once Upon a Time in the West, films like that. But not only that, I guess I don't know, I like John Ford as well. So the Stagecoach and the Searchers, and like weird films. I'm trying to remember. There's one with Jack Nicholson from the '60s that's very strange. That was very influential. I'm trying to remember the title. Uh, the Shootist, I think it was the name.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, that one was interesting because yeah, that's a film that breaks convention from the Western. So I guess I tried to do something similar to that.
And tell us something about the plot.
Well, without spoiling too much, I guess it's a
Yes.
guy. Yes, it's a man who loses his leg, and he has to cross the desert to survive. So yeah, I guess that's the shortest way I can say without spoiling too much.
And what about that strange character that he encounters at the beginning?
Yes. What about him?
The man that eats the banana.
Yes.
Who is he?
Uh, yeah, well, I try to left it ambiguous. Like there are many
Yes.
things that he says that I don't want to go into that. So that's part of the appeal that I find, like people making their own story about who he is. He's such a strange character, and the character and the actor who played him is wonderful. So
Yes.
I think he did a very good job. So yeah, trying to create a little bit of mystery, I guess.
Yes, definitely. I hope we did it. We created curiosity.
Hmm, yes.
That's what I want to do with all your movies.
Hmm.
And Tang Li and
Hi, yes.
Hi, Eyes of the Sea.
Yes,
Yeah. Tell us first something about your school, the Shanghai Vancouver Film School.
yes. The school is in Shanghai. Uh, I want to tell us about our school is that why I choose my school is that the school's idea of speaking with your work appeals to me, and I want to learn filmmaking by practicing. So, and and another point is that the school is in Shanghai. It's near my hometown, and our school teach us to learn how to make films by making a lot of short films. Not we are learning films by making lots of short films, not by reading something. I really appreciate it, and I think I gained a lot of experience from the on-set systems. You
Okay.
guys, am I clear?
Yes,
Hmm.
yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. And what about your movie? What about the plot of your movie?
My movie
Where does it come from?
is quite a long story, I think,
Yes.
but the idea is that I find a very touching story. The real story is a Chinese boy, very young, 20-year-old. He is visually impaired and he grows up in farewell house and his parents abandon him at a very young age. And I think, which mostly deeply touched me, that he doesn't give up. He strives to chase his dream. He wants to be an audio novelist. Do you guys know about these things? He can't see, but he wants to use his voice to tell stories to others.
Mm.
And I think the spirit in himself, I think, touched me a lot. So I want to create a character, a very, how to say, a very good mother who doesn't abandon his child, who is visually abandoned. So the mother tells a story, use his voice to let the boy cheer up, to give him another life. It's simple, but I think it's quite a long story because I was touched by the real person. So I want to change reality.
Okay. And talking about references, when the kid runs on the sand along the sea, of course, I thought about Antoine Duanel and the 400 Blows by Francois Truffaut. That came to my mind immediately. And what other references did you have in mind?
Pardon me, because you are not clear.
It was a question about your references.
Yeah, I hear that.
The first one that came to my mind was the 400 Blows by Francois Truffaut. In particular, the final scene when the kid runs on the sand along the sea, as your kid in your movie does. And what other references you can tell us about?
Because I didn't get your question clearly. So may I explain what I mean in this scene? The kids
Yes.
running along the beach. Because I think the mother tells a lot of story beside the sea with his child. And I think the child's mood get out from the bad things. It gradually cheer up. It gradually feel something. It feel the life's fire. The fire inside get out. And I think the running is just a symbol.
Okay, that was clear. Okay, let's talk about 39 with Anat.
Hi.
And you got an MFA degree at the Stitish School of Film and Television in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, I haven't got it yet because I haven't finished, but I'm working on it.
You're working on it,
Yeah. Yeah, actually, this film, it's not my graduation film. I did it after the first year. So 39, I basically did it like in the first summer between the first and the second year.
Okay. Tell us about this number. What's 39?
Wow. Karen, the protagonist of the film, is 40 in the day of the film, and actually, I think like changing there's something about your 40th birthday, which you guys all look like you haven't experienced it yet. I think it's something that people like prepare you for this crisis. It's a big thing, and everything in her life, she works in the welfare unit, she's a social worker, is mixed, it's blend. I mean, the drama in her work life becomes the drama in her life, her private life mixes in her day of work, and it becomes the fact that she is now turning 40 today, but nobody calls her, but all the people at work needs her attention, and they needs everything. Everybody needs something from her, but nobody gives to her nothing, or nobody can like support her. She needs to support everybody all day. And it also merged with the fact that she's trying to make a mother and a daughter that weren't in a connection for like 2 years. And she tries hard, like the most hard in her life, to try to make them connect and communicate. But so she buys, because it's an unfit mother, she buys like a birthday present to this girl instead of the mother, which is kind of like a line is crossed there, because if you ask social workers, it's not something that you do. I mean, she's so identified with the work that she said, okay, if the mother is not good enough to remember the birthday of the girl, this adolescent girl, I will buy the present for her and give the mother to give the kid. So she does, and she buys soccer shoes because the girl is like teen football player, and the size is 39, but it's not good. I mean, it's too small. So it merged. It's kind of like a symbolic, but it's a kind of a symbol that I only, like after writing it, and basically, honestly, after filming the film, I saw this connection. I didn't know how to call the film, but just after filming, I saw there's a connection between those two.
It came to you, the title.
Yeah. I was playing with the title a lot, and then like the producer is like, he says like it's 39, it's supposed to be 39. So
Okay.
this is how it can
I found Maya Gastner, the actress, really, really extraordinary. And I wanted to ask you, how did you find her? How did you work with her?
Okay, so Maya, actually, I was in film school. I started as a producer, and when I was 25, I went to the Sam Spiegel film school in Jerusalem. It was a really long time ago, and Maya's face probably was the first thing I saw when coming to the school, because when she was young, she did a short student film back in the 90s, and it was really like known back in the days. So the poster was on the wall. So I saw her first like 15 years ago, maybe, as in the poster as another protagonist of another film, and I kind of like it. I remember that, and basically she's really she did a lot of short films, but she never played like a big role in a feature. She's an amazing actress here in Israel, but she didn't do like so many actors, like they start after like acting school, they do student films, they do shorts, and then they search for the role,
Yeah.
So she didn't like break in a way, and I saw that I found her extraordinary as well, and working with her was an experience because she's really also intelligent. She's super expressive, but working with her, she analyzed everything. She always asked me and made it hard for me, like why this, and why do you want this, and why. We would rehearse a lot with the dialogue. I would play all the characters, she would be her, and I changed a lot of the dialogue thanks to this kind of like work method, because she's like, she needs to know, like understand, and she works a lot with the mind, and once like the mind is free, she lets all the heart get in a way.
Okay. And in particular, the final scene, when she sings "Made of Stone" by the Stone Roses.
Yeah.
There, I think it appears evident your documentary style, and so I wanted to ask about it. Why?
I started as a documentarist. I mean, my first work as a director was documentary. I worked on for like 6 years. I created like a docu-series, and it was also a feature. I filmed it and myself, and it was quite a journey. And I think like it's like driving a car. They tell you like when you learn to drive, it's like the basic, but really learning to drive is while you have your permit and you drive by yourself. This is like there is where you learn to drive. So I learned basically what kind of a director I am while I was alone with my camera in France, shooting for like 100 days. And I took a lot of stuff from this experience to my fiction. This is my first fiction film. And yeah, and this is also like this song it means a lot to me in a way. It became like one of the songs that every time I broke up with my boyfriend, I would hear him and like cry, and it aroused a lot of emotions in me personally. So I gave it to Maya, and I said exactly this. I want you to. This is your private. Like I want you to sing it as I sing songs, which is horrible. And actually, you know, when Maya sees this scene, she's like, I never gave you what you want, because I always pushed her. We did it a lot of times because I wanted like a cry, like fountains of like tears, and the song. And she did either the cry or the song, but not together. And in the end, like she was so exhausted, she was like, no, it's not gonna go out. I mean, she cried like terribly for twice. And then she said, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. And actually I reshot it also because I'm intense. And in the end, this is like, and in the end, in editing room, my editor, she said, you don't need the full fountain of cry. You don't need it. I mean, it's like, it's not what you want. You want like this dry beginning of the cry. So, and but Maya that wasn't in editing room. So she thinks she disappoints with me. I mean, it's only now that I told her, like, listen, you did like the best thing I could ever imagine. It was only me, like the childish director in me, who wanted the big gesture. But so yeah, the song, I mean, it's still my ringtone, basically. I can't let it go.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Let's jump to New York and meet another very interesting character, Rocio. That is the character of your movie, Natalia, La Virgen, la Vieja, el Viaje. Tell us about it. I say the title in Spanish, but the reason is self-evident. You can tell us.
Yeah, well, the story comes from a very personal place. I'm Chilean, but I've been studying here at Columbia University in New York for around 3 years. And while I was here, my grandmother passed away. So being far from my family while this was happening, because when a relative dies, it's like a slow process. It's not only death, it's like how your family prepares to death and how you prepare for that, not being able to connect with them. So this is my second year film, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. And when this happened, it became very clear that I wanted to tell a personal story. And then, but I didn't want to tell it in like a conventional way, because I was trying to find like new languages, and I started using personal footage, or I also shoot some footage for the film. Because when I first arrived here, like my phone became such an important part of my reality, like WhatsApp and sending pictures to my friends, to my family, and it became like a language I was building, like an identity I was building of myself while I was here, like what I was discovering every day, how the weather is different, how culture is different, and how you leave this footprints of who you were by the messages you send, or the photos you sent. So the plot is about Rocio. She's a cleaner at a high school, and it just tells like the journey of her adjusting herself to the city while she knows her grandmother is getting very sick and eventually passes away. So it's like 3 chapters, which is La Virgen, the Virgin, La Vieja, the old lady, and then El Viaje, the journey, which I don't know how the title came. It just was like, one day I just wrote it and it's just stayed there. So, yeah.
And you adopted different styles to tell your story. In particular, the seasons in New York, winter and spring, and so the passing of time. Would you please tell us more about it?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, I was like very traumatized by a lot of snow and winter at first. Not traumatized, but also like loving it. But I come from Santiago. It snows, but it snows on the mountain range. So when the first year there was a blizzard, and I couldn't believe, like, I couldn't go out because it was snowing so much that it became a thing I couldn't stop filming. So I thought that was, like, as I was saying, a footprint of me trying to adjust to the city was paying attention to weather. And then the beautiful thing about New York is, like, so intense, like it's super cold and then super humid and like very sunny. And then when spring comes, it's like the city lives and everyone is outside, and there's like a new feeling of what you're feeling. And so, yeah, like, I think the passing of time, I wanted to portray it by the seasons, which I think, well, I'm very obsessed with seasons. I'm always like complaining about the weather. Maybe that's why.
And also another thing I wanted to underline, the broken glass.
Yeah.
What about it?
I don't know. It's funny because it's a thing that I was trying to build as a narrative, and somehow, little by little, I couldn't put it there. But while I was casting, I met Carmen, she's from Honduras, and she told me the story about her mother passing away while she was here. And the way when she started telling me her story, she told me that like she would be always distracted looking at planes going out the sky, because she always wanted to come here to the United States, that she was so distracted watching the planes that the glasses would fall and break, and her mother would say, like, "You're so distracted, you have butter hands, like you have to concentrate." And she always told her mother, when I go to the States, I'm going to buy you like a dozen of glasses so you stop complaining that I have butter hands. So that's how it like came to the story, and somehow we couldn't like really get into it, but it was like a gesture to have Carmen's story there, and also to have this like fragile feeling of like you're here in New York, but you're also in Colombia, you know, in Chile, whatever you come from, like you're in two places. So like it's like the fragility of being there while something super important is happening back in your country, like the passing of your grandmother.
Okay, and what about the Columbia University School of Arts? How did you get there? How are things going?
I can't shoot my thesis film, so it's not going that well. But it's a very intense program. It's 3 years. You shoot every year. I've written like 2 feature films, so it's like your portfolio gets so much bigger, and I think that's so good for a career. And fortunately, Chile had a scholarship, and I could come here and study. And Colombia is great with storytelling, so it helps you to develop that skills.
Okay, thanks. Back to Europe for the rat string, Firurosu, Alexandra.
Yes.
This is your graduation film.
Yes, my master's graduation film.
At the National University of Theatre and Film, Gianluca Caragiale, correct me if I don't.
Gianluca Caragiale, yes.
And it's an animation movie.
Yes, it's an animation.
I love variety, so I choose also an animation movie. Yeah. So tell us why you chose animation.
Well, the thing is, I used to do stage design in the first 3 years I was there. We have both a theater school and a film school. So I realized stage design is not for me. I come from a background of art, like painting, graphic design. So stage design didn't fit me. So I didn't know. I had the crisis of not knowing what to do with my life after I finished stage designs. And I thought, why did I start art? Like, where did this come from? And animation came to mind. And we have a master's program for animation film. But it's funny because we have a master's, but we don't have a bachelor. So you only do 2 years, like specialize in it. And so I applied. I had no idea how to do animation. This is actually my first film. The thing is, we don't have an animation school for like bachelor in Romania. So back then, now we do. The university made one the year I got in. But when I applied, there was only a few people who never did school for animation. So most of us didn't have a lot of experience with it. All we did was by ourselves. And so, yeah, I just learned what I needed to for entering from the internet, and I applied and I got in for 2 years. Yeah.
Tell us about this red string. What it is, what it represents.
Well, the script of the movie, the thing is, we apply with the project of the film when you apply for the university, for the program. And that's the project you're going to work on, you're supposed to work on for the next 2 years. And the script was very different. The story of the man was very different. He still had the job he didn't like. The red string was still there. And I realized I wanted to tell a story about our path in life. And the red string, it's more like, I guess it was inspired by the fact that I didn't know what to do with my life for a while. So I needed like a guide. So that's red string. It's like a guide for our destiny. And if you follow that, it's supposed to lead you to what you're supposed to do. And that's why I wanted to use it. The script changed a lot in the 2 years, very much. But I realized the teachers told me, you have to choose, what do you want to do? Like, I had too many subjects in the script, and I realized what I want to keep and what the story I want to tell. It's about this red string and about destiny mostly, which is a complicated subject.
Yes, but you succeeded in doing that.
Thank you.
I think. And I think destiny is a theme every movie of yours touches in its own way. I would love you to address directly the audience briefly to close this meeting. So I would ask Alireza and then Juan Felipe, etc., just to say something directly who the people who are gonna watch the movie. Please, Alireza.
Okay, so I want to thank everyone who watching my film, and I hope that you are enjoy the whole selection of this part of Torino Film Festival.
Thank you.
Yes.
Juan Felipe.
Yes. Yeah, I want to thank everyone who was watching as well, and I hope they enjoy the films and have fun.
Thank Lee.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your films. And thank you, guys.
Okay. Anat?
Thank you for watching, and I'm really proud and being part of this selection, and I hope you have a great festival.
Thank you. Natalia?
Thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you enjoy the film and my peers' film, and thank you for being at Torino Film Festival.
Alexandra?
Thank you, everyone, for watching. I hope you have a good time watching the films, and stay safe.
Stay safe.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yes. I want to thank you all for being part of this year's Torino Film Festival. Really proud of this program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.